Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Brew Review Crew. Today we are with Maumee Bay's brewmaster John Coaster here at Maumee Bay's tasting room, and we are going to be discussing their Mini Mash program, which is going on between June 30th and running through July 4th weekend. And basically what it is, it's going to be different beers every night for that week-long segment.
Yeah, if you saw anything about our craft beer week, they did kind of a similar take. Every day a new beer release, just small batches, try and see how they would like them, see if the product's going to sell well, and kind of just develop some more flavors for maybe their full-time lineup.
Glub, 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 glub. So I think what we want to start with, John, is why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe how you got started into brewing and how you found yourself here.
Well, as like most homebrewers, that's 90+% of people get into homebrewing, and that's how they eventually get into professional brewing. I was homebrewing for almost 5 years before I started working here. I was in beer and wine sales at Bailey's Beverage Center for a few years, and I just got geeked out on homebrewing. I just read tons of books and got into advanced all-grain homebrewing, and I was actually Bailey's Beverage Center ended up closing, so I was looking for a position at a brewery, and I was talking to the guys at New Holland Brewing Company.
Okay, yeah.
But the position was actually for sales as opposed to brewing. When they called me back, the same day I saw an ad in the Blade, of all places, for assistant brewer needed at Maumee Bay. So I jumped on it, and there was a lot of homebrewers trying to get the position. And I was pretty fortunate because I didn't have as much experience as some of the guys, but I brewed with Phil a couple times before I got the job, and it worked out.
What is your aspirations for this Mini Mash series?
It started out with the Ohio Brew Week, and we want to start getting out as many new beers as we can, because obviously that's a big draw. And that was a great week. We got a lot of good feedback on the beers, and we decided, well, that was such a hit. Why don't we just do that every 4 or 5 weeks? Mm-hmm. And just come up with crazy off-the-wall beers, some might be a little bit more traditional, but some are just going to be, wacko,
And that's cool. Basically you're just going to put it out there and see what people do. That's a really good way to sample out new things, to get direct feedback from people.
Exactly.
Hey guys, we are back here at Maumee Bay, and we are sitting with Clint McLaughlin, who is the head production brewer here at Maumee Bay. Kind of tell me, or us, them, where you came up with the idea and what went into it.
Monday we're doing the lemon peppercorn saison. That's one of John's recipes. It's actually a lemon peppercorn black saison, so we're kind of missing a pretty key descriptor there. But anyways, it's brewed Pilsner malt. There's some black malt. It's actually midnight wheat, so added a lot of color without adding any of the bitterness to it. There's a little bit of caramel malt in there just to add a little bit of body and sweetness. There's some Vienna. We're trying a new yeast strain. We usually get our yeast that we've used in the past for our saisons as a white lab strain. Okay. But we've heard some pretty good words about this other yeast that we're using. It attenuated it a lot more than what we were expecting. So it's pretty refreshing. It's pretty dry. It finishes very crisp. Organic lemon peel added late in the boil. It adds you a little citrusy zip in the aroma, a little bit in the end of the flavor. The black peppercorns were just lightly cracked, and those were thrown in at the end of boil, whirlpool. You steep for 20 minutes, and you heat exchange. So you've got a little bit of underlying. None of it's overdone. With saisons, you kind of want things, though, you want any kind of flavor constituents outside of the malts kind of be like a underlying factor. So it's not like you're searching for it. You don't got a placebo effect, trick yourself into tasting these things that we said we put in the beer. You can tell they're there. It's not overdone. It's a really smooth beer. It's 9.6% alcohol. Like I said, that yeast attenuated a little more than a calculation. So, yeah, that's a really interesting beer. That'll be on Monday. Tuesday, we redid the mango pale wheat with Citra hop.
That was great.
It turned out a little different than the last time. It's a little drier, a little more bitter, and I think that's attributed just to the mango. We're trying to find. We know it's a solid recipe. Now we're just trying to find basically bulk ingredient. We're trying to find this mango source. I would need 450 pounds of whole mango fruit to brew 30 barrels of this beer. So we're trying out a different mango base for this.
Is it a different hop too? I thought last time was Galaxy.
No, that was a typo. That's why, man, I was like, listening to you guys give these reviews, and I'm like, man, there's so many typos, and it's kind of like, things get lost in translation if you can't give a really good descriptor in there, So it was with Citra last time. It's with Citra this time. It's basically like a session pale. It's 30 IBU range, 4.6% alcohol. It's got a pretty nice even balance of, I don't know what you guys thought last time. I thought the mango was noticeable, but it was still balanced enough to where it's like, maybe some guys can get into it and not think they're drinking some frou-frou, like super girly beer,
Yeah.
So this is a little more on the pale side, you know what I mean? There's a little more bitterness there. It's a little drier, and there's not as much mango influence. Like I said, just because we're trying to figure out these different products that we can use large scale. Wednesday is a Kentucky Red Cream Ale. I'll be honest, I read an article in a homebrew magazine. They were talking about doing a heavily adjunct, Kentucky common beer, which is like apparently was a real style at one time and highly consumed. And I thought it was a cool idea because you're kind of taking that the same malt constituents that you would have in a bourbon mash, just not in the same fractions, Yeah, so it has rye, wheat, flake corn. It has barley, so it has those 4 different malt constituents. It's got 3 adjunct grains in it. Pretty heavy-handed on the adjuncts. It was brewed like a cream ale, so it was fermented cold, it's conditioned cold, so it doesn't have a lot of the ester profile that you would expect from an ale. It's pretty clean. It's pretty nice and evenly balanced. It's 25 IBU beer. It's 5.6%. If you're into just good all-around, evenly balanced malt to hop. Malt to bitterness ratio, it's an awesome drink here. It goes down really smooth. Thursday is a Mosaic, Galaxy, and Chinook IPA, double IPA.
I was gonna say, I will be there.
It's 8.6% alcohol. It's 100 IBUs. It's basically bitter with Chinook, so add some caddy pininess to that, and then it's just really heavy-handed with Mosaic and Galaxy at the end of the boil, and also dry hop with both of those varieties again. And man, it's awesome. Refined towards like a West Coast style double IPA. It finishes really dry, it finishes really crisp. It just really lets those hops really pop without any kind of that sweet muddledness that, I don't know, really people really liked it at the Glass City Beer Fest, but I think this version's a little better. And Friday, the surprise release is a Mojito Wit, which a homebrew friend of mine was doing lime in the coconut wit, and I found myself like gravitating towards making a recipe like that, but then I feel like I didn't want to steal his ideas or make him think that, what I mean? I don't know what his recipe was. I just thought it would be a cool premise for a beer. Anyways, it ended up being a Mojito Wit, lots of fresh mint, literally picked that morning, macerated, beat it up a little bit of muddle. I basically put it in a big old Ziploc bag and I beat it with a pan. And then I made a tea, or steeped it aside from that. Added that right at the end of the boil. So basically I steeped the mint, made a nice, really strong minty tea, and then I poured that into the end of the boil. It was really lightly hopped. We got a really good quality. We were at the Craft Brewers Conference a couple months back, and we met with a really good extract company that's not like, they're not making fake, artificial and natural flavorings, which a lot of people, a lot of the suppliers to the industry, that they're giving you things that are blended, all natural and then artificial. And we were able to find somebody who actually is taking these ingredients, they're actually distilling them. So they're getting these nice pure alcohol-based extracts, Basically they're like tinctures, but we got a lemon, a lime, and some chalk and some other ones. We thought I thought it'd be a good go to do the lemon, rather the lime, with the mint, and dude, it turned out awesome. It's gonna be really low alcohol. It's gonna be 4% alcohol, because I'm thinking just more along the lines of something really spritzy, really refreshing, and if a bar latches onto this, they're gonna want to pour booze in it. So, I didn't want to make it like I wanted to make it a little more refreshing of a beer, and way more session than I guess anything that we've ever done. If you guys want, that's the only thing I haven't kegged. When we're done here, if you guys want, we can go take a thief and take a few samples, because I kind of want to see where it's at right now myself.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's what's really cool about these beers, is that they are ultra fresh. I mean, I brewed all these in the last 2 weeks, and I mean, we're really putting ourselves under the gun to be able to like get them in a time frame. But I mean, it just seems to be working out pretty good. We did just like we did the last time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before. Start gearing up, making all these small batches, and just get some feedback from you guys and the rest of the people that drink the stuff. So it should be a fun week, man. It should be a fun week.
Hey guys, if you like that video, make sure you check out our full interview with John and Clint. If you want to head to our website, click on the logo in the top left corner. And hopefully, we'll see you down at Mutz for all the goodness that is Maumee Bay's Mini Mash.